SpaceX is going public and a lot of people are considering to buy the IPO. But before you buy the IPO, there are a few things that you should know, because these are the kind of things that Elon Musk does not want you to know, and these are the kind of things that Wall Street does not want you to know. Because if you know them, you will reconsider your decision to invest in this IPO. I want you to take your own decision, but I want you to pay attention at these few things. Now, first of all, the question you should be asking yourself is that, what do you think SpaceX will do with the $75 billion? So the company wants to raise $75 billion at almost $2 trillion valuation. Usually, when a company goes public, they take that money to invest it back in themselves to grow much faster. So when Facebook went public, they took that money because they already had a very well-established business model. It was the money they needed to expand the business and to dominate the entire social media industry before anyone else would do that. But in the case of SpaceX, that's not the case. If you think SpaceX will take the money to build more rockets, then you're making a grave mistake. Now, if you look at the filings that they have actually filed, the filings confirm that $62.8 billion, that's almost 80% of anticipated proceeds, are already pre-pledged. Roughly 1/3 each committed to Valor Equity Partners, an early SpaceX investor, to creditors of Legacy XAI, now part of SpaceX, and Musk X Corporation, and to satellite spectrum licensor EchoStar to close the spectrum acquisition. That leaves fewer than $13 billion in uncommitted capital to fund SpaceX AI infrastructure build-out. So, the vast majority of the money that SpaceX will raise in this IPO is not going to the pockets of SpaceX, but rather into the pockets of SpaceX creditors. Now, $21 billion will go into Valor Equity. Valor Equity is an early investor in SpaceX, and SpaceX is trying to raise $21 billion to give it to Valor Equity. But why would SpaceX do that? You see, when Elon Musk started XAI, it needed GPUs in order to train its AI to compete against OpenAI or Anthropic, but they did not have the money to buy them. So Valor Equity, which is an early investor in SpaceX, they basically borrowed the money from investors, purchased all of these GPUs from NVIDIA, and leased them to XAI. So now XAI owes Valor Equity $21 billion. But in January of this year, Elon Musk merged XAI with SpaceX. So XAI $21 billion debt that they owe to Valor Equity is now the debt of SpaceX. So SpaceX is trying to go public so that Elon Musk can actually pay the debt that it actually borrowed for XAI. But that's just part of the story. The second part is that $21 billion is going to go to Twitter's creditors. Remember Elon Musk buying Twitter and then renaming it to X.com? He could not afford it, so he borrowed $13 billion. And now he owes these creditors $21 billion because he purchased X.com. He renamed Twitter to X.com and then merged X.com with XAI. So now all Twitter's $21 billion debt is part of XAI's debt. And because XAI was merged with SpaceX, now this $21 billion now is on the shoulders of SpaceX. Another $21 billion is going to go to EchoStar. EchoStar is the company that offers the infrastructure telecommunication for Starlink to be possible on the ground. SpaceX sends the rockets and the satellites, but they still need the infrastructure to make that possible on the ground. So $21 billion would go into acquiring the rest of the company. So as you can see, that $63 billion of all the money that will be raised is going to go to all of these creditors. Elon Musk basically borrowed so much money over the last several years to buy all of these companies, but now these investors to whom Elon Musk owes so much money, they don't want to convert their debts into equity because they understand that a $2 trillion valuation is insane and they don't want to do that. And Elon Musk on the other side doesn't actually want to lower his valuation because he might actually lose control over his companies. So this is a genius idea. Why wouldn't I simply take all my companies, turn them into one giant company, take it public and sell the shares to you at a huge valuation to pay back all of these creditors, and Elon Musk will keep controlling all of these companies. So when you are buying this IPO, you're not giving money to SpaceX to build new rockets. You're giving money to Elon Musk to pay back all of his previous creditors. Now, secondly, that you have to consider is that there is going to be a fixed IPO price. Usually, when a company goes public, there is a financial institution that does research to find out how much investors are willing to pay for this company and what is going to be the valuation. So based on that research, the company is going to go public and offer its stock price at a range. So for example, our valuation is going to be anything between $500 billion to $700 billion, and our stock is going to go at around $100. And then the market is going to decide how much demand there is going to be for that stock. Because we have done the research, because we know how much demand there is for this stock, we know that these companies are going to buy it at this particular price. But SpaceX decided to completely avoid all of that and directly go into a $2 trillion valuation at $135 per stock. They did not consult anybody, and they don't care if Wall Street will buy the stock or not, which is another very huge red flag for the company. Another problem is that even though that the company is going to go public, and the purpose of the public companies is that there should be a balance of power, despite that, Elon is going to have total controls with no limits. When you have a private business and you control your own business, you can do whatever you want. The moment you're going to go public, now millions of people are going to own the shares of your business, so you're accountable to the public, which is why there should be an independent board of directors. There should be an independent president, an independent chair. But in this case, Elon will still have 85% majority control over the company, which means that he can do whatever he wants with the company. There is not going to be an independent chairman. He will appoint anybody he wants in the board of directors because he will control 85% of the company. That's another big problem that investors have with this business. Now, another thing that you have to consider is that he's trying to sell a lot of the stocks to retail investors instead of professional investors. So the biggest buyers are going to be the retail investors and the index funds. Let me show you. So this is the post for Fidelity. Most initial public offering IPOs offer retail customers only 5 to 10% of the total offering, which significantly reduces the amount of stock available to our retail clients. SpaceX has decided to reserve a much higher percentage of the offering, up to 30%, which means there should be more shares available in retail clients, which is why we have decided to reduce IPO eligibility for this offering. Usually, when a company goes public, the vast majority of its shares will be offered to institutional investors, and 5 to 10% will be offered to the retail investors, to people like you and me. But SpaceX is doing something completely different. They're offering up to 30% of all the stocks to the retail investors, to people like you. Because Elon understands that the average investor doesn't know much about investing. He doesn't know much about valuation. As long as he's a fan of Elon Musk, as long as he's excited about this IPO, and as long as Elon can create this hype around SpaceX, millions of people all around the globe are going to buy this IPO, and he's going to raise his $75 billion to pay back all of his previous debts. Because if you would go to somebody who understands investing, understands valuation, he's never going to accept a $2 trillion valuation for SpaceX. So again, he's targeting the people who don't know much about investing in hopes that they're going to be hyped around it. And the second largest investors are, of course, going to be index funds. Now, if you are going to become part of the NASDAQ 100, every single ETF that invests in the NASDAQ 100 will automatically have to invest in this company because now it's part of the NASDAQ 100. So these are going to be the largest investors in this IPO. And here's another red flag that you have to pay attention to. We don't have the data on Starlink's subscribers' churn number. You're acquiring all of these clients, but here's the question. Are you keeping all of these clients? What if these clients are actually using Starlink for some time and then unsubscribing from Starlink because it's too expensive, because it's not as reliable as some people have imagined, or maybe just simply because people cannot possibly afford it? So if you dig into SpaceX filings, you'll find out that Elon is not actually offering these numbers. So we don't know for a fact how much the company is going to make from Starlink, and Starlink is literally the most profitable entity in the entire entity, because under SpaceX we have XAI, we have X.com, and then we have Starlink, and then we have a bunch of other entities under it, and Starlink is the most profitable. It's the company that brings most of the cash into the business, that keeps the business alive, and they're not offering us with that number, which is another thing to pay attention to. And Morningstar values SpaceX at $780 billion. So SpaceX is worth less than half of its $1.75 trillion IPO target, Morningstar. Morningstar is one of the largest financial institutions in the world that literally does the research and offers financial advice and literally tells you what should be the valuation of a business. Yes, SpaceX isn't simply a rocket company. They have under them X.com. They have under them XAI, and there are probabilities that the company is going to generate so much money. The problem with all of these objectives is that we don't know for a fact if SpaceX will be able to build these technologies. Take an example of the idea that they will be building data centers in the space. Now, I can imagine for a fact that's possible, but will that be possible in 2 years from now? I have a very big question, and a lot of investors are asking the exact same thing. So if we don't know if that technology is not available yet, how can we possibly predict that the company will generate $700 billion by 2030? So Morningstar is simply saying that the best valuation you can give to this company is $780 billion. And frankly speaking, Morningstar is trying to be very, very generous with this. And Elon doesn't like that. SpaceX doesn't like that because they want to take that shares and sell it to the average people who doesn't understand much about investing so that they will buy these shares and they will forget about them. Just like the people who purchased Tesla when the stock was $407 back in November 2021. Since then, the stock fluctuated multiple times, and until today, over the last 5 years, you actually lost -5%. If you instead invested that money, for example, into S&P 500, you would have made a lot of money. Or take another example, when people invested in SpaceX when it actually reached its peak at around $421. If you purchased the stock at that peak, again, you have lost money. If you purchased the stock at its peak in December of last year, you probably or most certainly have actually lost your money. And this is the mistake that I don't want you to make. I don't want you to buy the stock at its peak. Because the company is insanely overvalued, the stock is going to dramatically come down, and that's the moment you should be buying the stock. But how do I know when that moment is going to come? Well, that's why you should join Investing Academy, because there I will be posting at what valuation you should be buying SpaceX and at what valuation I will be buying SpaceX. So instead of becoming a victim of this hype, we are going to invest in SpaceX at the right valuation, and we will actually make money with this. So the link to the Investing Academy is in the description of this video.